This episode is brought to you by the feature film Wall of Flesh, a vintage comedy. A faded musician and lovable curmudgeon must reassemble his motley band of misfits in order to provide for the spermatozoan that got away. Streaming now on Amazon.
Thank God, don't forget those.
Look at this. Look.
Yep,
Look
I see him.
Am I cool? This is what the kids do?
This is exactly what cool looks like.
It's what cool looks like. Hold on. Let me remove them. Sensuality.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah. Well, we are here via the Zoom at Unnecessary.
How original.
Yeah. It's what the kids are doing. Hey, this is a free software that allows us to not die.
Great.
Coronavirus. So let's start off by introducing yourself. Tell me all about who I'm speaking with.
All about me. My name is Rich Baker. I'm a.
Good enough. All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Where can we follow you? Just get out the socials now that no one's watching. So might as well say
sure
it before they drop off.
At Rich Baker Actor on Facebook and Instagram.
Fantastic. All right. So what do you do for a living?
Right now, just as you said, wait till death. But theoretically, I'm a comedian, a performer. I'm a
you're
teacher,
awesome.
Coach.
Everybody, if you're watching this, you know who Rich Baker is. So we start off. The only thing that
both of my fans are watching this.
Yeah. Well, my mother gives me notes every week on how it could be better. Yeah. She doesn't watch it. She just has a vague idea of what could be better. You know?
I haven't watched the show. I have notes.
Basically. It's like for 40 years. That's basically been my entire. So let me again apologize. I'm supposed to shave. I can't shave I'm supposed to shave the stash off. Oh, by the way, the doctors say to keep your beard short. Like you have it nice and short. So people with long beards and stuff, because of the germs, they land on your face. Sad moment. People are going to die.
The beard is a germ catcher?
I guess that's what she said. And
wow.
She's a leading physician in Los Angeles who is so much better than me in every way possible. I cannot express it to you.
Fair enough.
So, but I don't care. Like where am I? It's the only thing I can control right now. You know what I mean? Like
we do have an advantage though, because a lot of people are worried about what their hair is going to look like if they're like doing their own haircuts, and we're like, easy. It's done.
Hold on. We got to go quick questions first. We do quick questions before they get to know you to see how you get thrown off.
Copy that.
This is a highly produced. See, it's on a legal pad in which I got from Goodwill.
I'm glad it's legal.
Quick questions. Let's start off very simple. I just wrote these 5 minutes ago, and you'll see they are kind of terrible. Salt or pepper?
Salt.
Do you blame the Dutch for the coronavirus?
Not always.
Okay. If your version of hell was one song on a loop over and over again forever, what would that song be?
Copacabana. It's good one time, but after two, it's poison.
Now, if this was actually produced, right, if I had someone who was here, they would now put that into the show for a gag. But that gag's not possible due again to the coronavirus.
We'll just do it in our heads.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized that song maps onto Corona. She's at Corona.
Coronavirus. Okay, this is going very well. Okay, so what's your general stockpile of toilet paper like?
Right now, really coincidentally amazing. A friend took me to Costco like
you got
3 weeks ago. Yeah, sheer luck.
Sheer luck. My buddy Rick went also sheer luck to Office Max the day it was happening, and they have those giant ones. So he just bought two. So
wow,
I'm telling him to start a little small business, like $2.99 a roll. I mean, don't be too greedy, but like
no, yeah.
Profit should be made. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, what 80s sitcom would you have wanted to have been a member of the cast?
I mean, it's basic, but Cheers, of course.
Cheers.
Of course.
That's so funny. You know what? I thought when I wrote the question, I thought you would say that. I don't know why. I was like, he'll say Cheers. I
still think it's the greatest sitcom of all time.
It's great. Coach.
Coaches. I mean, there's a lot of good ones, but I mean, Cheers is just up here.
Yeah, Cheers. Fantastic. I remember when I was we're going off quick questions because we're not editing this out. we had our choir in middle school, maybe the
Yeah,
night
yeah.
it was closing. So we closed our choir by singing the Cheers song. And everyone, it was funny because they were like, yeah, we're here instead of watching the finale. And now you've mocked us with a children's rendition of the song.
Was it like a cool a cappella version? We're like,
No, it was middle school. Awkward body parts are changing, voices are cracking.
Great. Good.
How it goes. Do you like how fully produced this is? Look,
I love it.
Yeah, I wrote it with pen.
I love that it's legal. You didn't write on an illegal notepad.
No, that's the worst. No,
did that once. Wouldn't recommend it.
Oh, what's your feeling about hunting hobos for sport?
I think it makes for great action movies.
Yeah. Oh, so how good was that movie, right? With Surviving the Game, right?
Oh, Surviving the Game, sure. Or Hard Target. Don't forget Hard Target.
I don't think I saw it. Is that
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Oh, then I've seen it.
He plays a Cajun.
Okay. Did he have a mullet?
Yeah.
He had like the mullet and the jeans, and he kicked some of his ass in the car by the. I'm describing every single one of his movies.
Yeah. The only difference with every other Van Damme movie, he was Cajun.
So did he? I have a voice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he had a voice, but did he do like something down?
How does it feel to be hunted? You tell me. Like, I mean, it's like I can't feel, but it's terrible. It's just terrible.
Yeah. The muscles from Brussels. I can't read. In closing, because that's enough. What are your favorite guitar strings in order?
The top E, the bottom E, then A, D, G, and then B's last. Because screw that one. It's always out of tune.
I agree. I don't know.
It's always out of tune.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if I can play my dad's guitar, my girlfriend's guitar, I can play some random stranger's guitar. The B string is never in tune for me. I don't know. It follows me around. Well,
I really thought that was a brilliant question when I asked it, and then I still stand by that. So
I stand by it too.
You actually, I want to let you know that you got them correct. You did it. So I just want to go ahead.
Does this win me immunity from the coronavirus?
It does. See, normally right now, the post-production staff would add some sort of clapping and some sort of harangue. Oh, hold on. What is Zoom? I think Zoom, you can like give a thumbs up. Oh, wait. They have two. Oh, hold on. Do you see that?
I see nothing, but maybe I'll see it on the recording.
I'm giving you claps.
Yay. I would love to get the clap from you, sir.
Okay. Wait, listen, most of Hollywood has gotten the clap from me. Yeah, let's get that going around. How do you feel? Oh, so here we are, blah, blah, blah. See, then there'd be like my buddy Cliff does the vocal, and there's the little title card. So there'd be like, the next section. So this is the next section.
I love how, like, so far this is mainly describing what it would be. Like, that's like a great sexual experience. Like right now, if I was a better lover, you would be moaning right now, you know? You would be.
I never really think about their needs. That's rule number one. It's like business. Intercourse is like negotiating business. You just do what you need to do, and they will either allow you or not. They will negotiate their terms. And that is, it's a powerful message. It's a powerful message.
Yeah, it is.
So in this section, what we would normally do, which we're going to describe now, I would talk about your shows and your projects. So this is when basically that if you had a project to promote, this would be the time in which to do that.
Okay.
So do you have anything you want to promote in your life, in the world? But make it like this was like a new new segment, and then have at it.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of things going on, but right now I'm just going to take this opportunity to plug my book. I wrote a book. It's about improv.
Keep it up there for a while because the picture cuts back and forth, so I want to make sure at least it lands on it. You know.
Sure.
So it's Improv Made Easier.
Improv Made Easier. It is a book. It's 200 and some odd, 200 25 pages, and it is basically like I've taught a lot of improv over the last 16 years. I've been doing improv for 21 years, and this book is a lot of me teaching coalesced into a book form.
So basically, because you were going to, okay, where can we find it?
You can go on Amazon and you can get the Kindle version or the paperback version. Improv Made Easier is the only book by that title on Amazon.
Can we see the back too? Let's see the back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
I've got quotes here from two of my former students who have a little bit of high profile. Jay Ferrugia, who's got a fairly successful podcast called the Renegade Radio Podcast, and then Louis Ferrigno Jr., who you can see on the TV show SWAT.
Ooh, wow. Look at that. That's pretty good. Well, so I've changed studios like 4 times in the last 6 months. And
congratulations.
Thank you. No, yeah, not always upgrades, because now I've obviously set up back at the house. Do you like my curtain? This is
Oh, that's a curtain? I thought it might be a wall.
Well, yeah, it's my curtain. It's blocking.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, kind of randomly.
It's real nice.
Because if you were to have watched the show, we were all in red curtains, and it was. See, let's keep describing what what it used to be. So it was red and it had lights. Now I just hung the curtain, and that's it. So the book is out now. Normally I would lie and say that I have read the book, as you do in Hollywood. You just lie, and then I give you accolades on how great it is. But we were supposed to meet, but we haven't met up.
Right, because of a pandemic.
The book has said it's fantastic and it's A1. But I haven't gotten a copy, sadly, because you're supposed to bring it and we're doing this. So I would just want to say that next week I have to remind, or the next time I do one, that I'm going to say that I read it so that it's ethical, because I will read it. And then, so I can get it on can I order it from you? Can I PayPal you? No, seriously. It said can I skip Amazon, PayPal you if you have the copies, and then you can sign it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've done that. I just with the coronavirus thing right now, it's I don't know how I'm going to get it to you, because I'm not leaving my home.
Well, okay. So let's put it, see how we're ethical here. I wouldn't just lie and be like, this is the best book ever. I haven't been on SWAT, and no one has heard of this podcast. So obviously you are. But
you you made a movie that has been in festivals that you graciously put me in your movie.
Oh, yes. The only possible sponsor of this podcast is myself. Is the Wall of Flesh, the vintage comedy movie. You would have heard the ad by now if, in post production. But it's not. But nothing is happening. Wall of Flesh, the vintage comedy, and you played Officer
Gavone. I'll never forget. I don't remember most of the characters I've ever played in any play or film, but I'll never forget that, because you cast me and then you said Gavone means pig in Italian, and I'll never forget that. Yeah. I will never forget that.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
That is genius. That is genius.
Yeah, you were great.
Thanks, man.
Well, you were great in the movie, and thank you for the plug. So watch Wall of Flesh. It's on Amazon Prime. And Rich is awesome in it. I do want to get a copy of the book. I guess I'll do the Kindle, because I've wanted to read it. Now, you are an incredible teacher and performer. So I don't even need to read it to tell you that I want it, and I'm asking you for it. And if you're watching this, you should buy it. And in fact, if you don't buy it, I think you're a piece of human filth. I'm just going to say it. If you don't buy. I don't want to call people. I don't want to go derogatory and call people names. I just want to say that kind of
for human filth. Have you bought it or
if you don't go on and buy this, if you are interested in comedy, improv, life lessons, handsome bald men, this is a book for you. And it's 25 pages. So if you break down the cost of that, it's like a penny a page or whatever. Just and if you don't think a Rich Baker is good enough for a penny a page, I don't want you watching this. In fact, you can click off this podcast now. Oh wait, analytics. It's
Wait, don't come back.
Yeah. My viewership is much like the current market in the economy. It's just sad. Hey, you know what? Can I actually see that book one more time for everybody? Let's go ahead and get it up. Double plug. Please. Hold on. See, now normally if this was a post-production, it would be like double plug. I kind of, to be honest, I obviously wanted to read it before, but I'm that's a lot of work. I mean, you must be very proud. I mean, that's an
Thanks,
accomplishment.
man. I'm super proud. It was more. If I had any idea at the beginning of the process how much work it would have been, it is very likely I would have been nah.
Yeah,
But I was
understand.
so naive and dumb, and I thought, oh, I've taught thousands of classes, so I know what I want to say. So writing a book won't be that hard. That is terribly inaccurate, and I'm so thankful for it because like at some point I was like, geez, this is really hard. Oh well, I can't stop now, So I just kept going.
So, what drives you as an artist? I mean, do you have that kind of, in order to get it done? And I understand that there's a certain, the fact that you didn't know what you were getting into is the similar experience as I did with the movie. I obviously wasn't trying to make. I would have liked to have made The Godfather for all this time. If I knew it was going to take this amount of time, I would have.
Sure.
I would have done another project. I was trying to do this quickly to learn and then to move on to something awesome, but this dragged on. So the fact that you finished that book, I know, and people don't get it. Most people don't have an ability to complete goals that they do for themselves. So the fact that you finished it and you have a physical copy of something that, 99 other people, at least, that are going to say, I'm going to do something one day, and they don't do it. So you should be.
Yeah.
Can I give you more claps? Where are the reactions? Ooh, thumbs up. There are only two. I don't know why there aren't more. Probably because in professional meetings you don't want to be.
I don't have access to claps.
Are you on a desktop? Or are you on like a?
Yeah, my desktop.
It should be if you look down.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Oh, maybe because I'm the host or something.
Who knows? I'm probably doing it wrong.
No, it's not you. You're incredible. You are. Thanks. I would be so proud to be your stand-in in whatever you do. Can I be honest?
Well, I think a lot of people would just they'd be like, yeah, that's Rich. Wait, that's Brian. Man, we don't know. It doesn't matter. Just one bald white man's good as another.
Yes. Yeah. Which is the name of a. No, it doesn't matter. This is irrelevant.
Yeah, right. You asked what drove me to do this. Honestly, the only way that I could finish this book was by taking the goal off myself. So I this is egotistical sounding, but it's just true. I really, I've taught thousands of students at this point, and I've had so many students, and I'm very grateful. They come to me after, like, I learned more in your class than I've learned in a year, or stuff like that. And I was like, okay, clearly I have found a method of teaching that really speaks to a lot of people, and I am, I don't know how many people I'm going to teach in my life, but I'm not going to be able to teach everyone. And so if I write it down in a book, at least I can get a lot of the stuff that I've been teaching that has been working for people, that has been helping people become better improvisers. I can get that into the hands of people who wouldn't normally have heard of me or ever, been even in the same state as me, let alone taking the class.
So you can get that I would imagine that has helped your teaching of a class, because you've been able to sit down and figure out your process and your style, and being able to put that on paper. I'm sure perhaps in your teaching now, it's a lot clearer because you've been able to define your own rules, right? Perhaps?
Well, it was kind of the reverse, actually, because I'd been teaching for so long that basically the way I teach is, when I first started back in 2006, I was teaching the best of my ability, and, it was my first year, so it wasn't near as good as what it would eventually become. But every class I would go, okay, this works. When I say it this way, it tends to hit harder. Oh, this doesn't work. How can I replace it? And over the years, it just got to the point to where I was like, basically I'm more or less saying the same phrases, teaching the same way, and it's working consistently. So that's when it was easy to put it in a book as far as knowing what to say, because I'd said it so many times.
Right, you basically you worked it out. Like you would on stage, you worked it out in the classroom.
Exactly. And one thing that I'm particularly proud of is in this book, I don't know how well the camera's going to pick it up, but there's a lot of example scenes.
There's no pictures.
There's no pictures. You know why there's no pictures? Because it is harder to put pictures in a self-published book. But I don't know if you can see it, but these are example scenes. I'll write out literal dialogue and action in the scenes. And these are, and there's all throughout this book, there's example improv scenes, because the whole book's about 2-person scenes. And those example scenes came from either scenes that I've done on stage or that my students have done that I've taught, that I've used as examples. And I'm like, oh, that's a perfect example of this lesson. So the book is just littered with those.
Obviously, we were supposed to do this a couple, months ago, which would have been the same thing because I wouldn't have had the book. But I wish that I had read it before because I'm very interested. And quite frankly, I'll just get the Kindle for now, and then I'll buy a paper copy when we, if the Earth
whenever we can touch each other again.
Yes. If I do have an end of the world party, I want you to be there. I will barbecue. It will be awesome.
Yeah. I knew that we were going to be friends at the time we were doing that show together, and you were like, "Hey, you want to smoke some weed in my car?" I'm like, "Yeah." And so we go in your car, we start smoking weed, and we left like a whole bunch of your friends at the bar, and we were just like, "How long have we been in here? Like 10 minutes and an hour and a half."
Yeah, we bonded. We bonded like men, and in a cutlass agreement,
and then. And I think someone knocked on the window. It was like everyone left.
Yeah, we kind of just. But here we are doing this beautiful podcast years later because of that experience.
I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, that was enjoyable. That was a good show too. That was.
Yeah.
I remember that you helped me. If I remember that. I was. You also play. I mean, guitar. I've been watching you on your social media, and you got a great voice.
I'm no Brian Sturges, but
please, no. I play fake jazz, where if I just play a bunch of things and call it jazz, that people don't care that I don't know what I'm doing. It's just
nice.
Yeah,
you do that where you tune the strings to where it's just an open chord as a jazz chord. You just like open bar up and down. Perfect.
Yep. I got my ones, my flat threes, my fours, my fives. Some sixes, flat sixes, sevens, flat sevens.
All the numbers.
Yeah, but
I got some 19s.
We did in the show that you were in. I was the musical director for. Thank you to Carla, who's amazing. She's she's incredible.
Current artistic director of the West Side Comedy Theater. She's been moving up ever since.
She's amazing, and I'm very grateful for her and her letting me do that. And what was cool is she let me, instead of playing it on piano, she let me do it on guitar and harmonica and kind of do a thing.
And I have done a lot of sketch shows in my time, and I had never seen anyone do a guitar harmonica music director for a sketch show before. And I thought I was just, I didn't know who you were. And I was like, this guy's amazing.
Oh, please. So please. You, sir. I learned it from watching you. And I saw it in your veins.
Brain on drugs. All right.
Well, I was kind of, while watching you guys improvise or run the scenes, I was trying to, what would I write to it? And you helped me with descending flat nines, chromatic descending flat nines. Nines. No, it was nines. It was descending chromatic 9 chords. So I remember that moment, much like you remember Now, I'd also like to put out that if any of my father's friends are watching this. That in Los Angeles and California, the laws are different. I haven't done anything illegal or anything that I should feel bad about.
Never. Oh, no. Did I out you with the whole weed thing?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that was it. I think watching anything I've ever done would pretty much say, poor life choices.
I'm about to say, if they haven't watched Wall of Flesh, I think you're out.
Yeah, well, no one has. And don't forget that
I have.
I literally have the federal trademark on Poor Life Choices.
Nice.
Fun fact. I would show it. It's on the studio wall, but the studio is quarantined. So I just have this curtain up to fool people. I like yours better though, because you have. See, I'm like, this is like the This should be the.
You look very professional. Yeah, you look like you're in a studio.
Yeah, I like that. I'm in my PJs. So you're all dressed nice. Looking good.
I put on a shirt.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So where do you see the kind of comedy clubs they're going, just in your experience, because you've done comedy for so long and so much better than me for so many more years than I. In your experience, I mean, what do you think is going to happen with the clubs I mean, not to bring up the stand stuff, but like September 11th, all the clubs. It was kind of a similar time in terms of things shutting down, and that was
Yeah,
before
nothing
I
was
had got.
open.
In your experience, how do you basically? I mean, how do you think this is going to go with the clubs? I know it's not the best question, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? I mean, just kind of the comedy economy.
I'm just taking guesses here, but so the way that comedy's been run for a long time, at least specific to, I'm not talking about stand-up, because stand-up, I really think the clubs have figured out a good formula for stand-up. You don't pay the stand-ups for doing the open mics or the small shows. You do pay them for the big shows, and audiences will actually come to stand-up shows. And I think that stand-up is doing pretty good. As far as improv and sketch is almost never a paid thing, and I hope, I'm just hoping here, but I hope that after this whole coronavirus thing happens, that we're all going to kind of reassess like how we spend our time and go, okay, like we should stop just giving. And I do it too. Like I still do it even after 21 years. Like I still give away my talents for free all the time. But I'm hoping that we'll kind of collectively go, okay, we can't just keep going to the comedy club, giving away our performance for free, and then let that be the end of it. It is my hope that everyone's going to be like, okay, we got to figure this out. We can't keep this going. As far as the COVID-19 thing, I mean, if it lasts for too much longer, if there's not some kind of a, economic stimulus or something coming from somewhere else, I literally have no idea how they're going to keep the lights on, because most comedy clubs that I know of, they do okay, but they don't do they don't have like stockpiles of cash in the bank to go, yeah, we can be
projects of love.
Cool. Yeah. So, I mean, right now you've probably got the same thing. I'm getting like 1,000 invites of like, check out my online comedy show. And I'm like, no,
I'm not even promoting. You know what? Here's the thing. I'm not even promoting these. I'm just putting them out. I'm making a collection. This is what I'm starting to say is basically, this is not for, no one's watching. This is so we're pretending someone is because we're professionals, but but really it's like a video diary moment of this time and our experience. And obviously I'm having people, that I enjoy and want to talk to, because really it's kind of these podcasts in the comedy community have become these little kind of sections of time to remember. You can go back and you have, because from improv and sketch for the stage, you don't have a lot of material, right?
Right.
In terms of professionally recorded content, you usually have to bring somebody else in or something. So sketch and filming sketches. And actually, why don't you give a shout out to your...
please check out @Stronger Comedy on Instagram or Stronger Entertainment on YouTube, because I have, I believe, I want to say 14, 15, somewhere around that number of sketches that I've made with production company Stronger Entertainment. My buddy John Geary, he's kind of the man as far as that, and I'm like his number 2 guy. We co-write them. We switch off directing. We're in all of them together.
You make a lot of content. I mean, you put out a lot.
Thanks, man. Well, I mean, you kind of have to nowadays, right? It's like back in the day.
That's exactly why this conversation is happening. Right. Everyone is catching up, especially for what I think we do. It's like we get so busy is now we have an opportunity for, if it's the 2-week shutdown, like we hope that we're all going to live, right? But that it's a kind of a reset period, because a lot of the people that were on the precipice of quitting or whatever, they're all going to go away, right? So then you're going to have people that are just because they're going to struggle away or they're not going to want to do it. And then the people that are going to struggle through the whole thing will obviously build back up because they're doing it again. But it is kind of crazy times, and I think it's a great opportunity. I originally did this thing was a cross promotion for when the movie came out. So I did a handful of people while it came out, and then the film festival. Basically, other projects happened, and and then I kept moving studios. So this was supposed to start again, blah blah blah. So all of a sudden, it became no excuses. The point is that well, we're all going to die or whatever, or you're locked down for 2 weeks. So get it together. Because if you can't get your shit, if you can't make some stuff and do something like this in the next 2, I mean, what are you doing? There's no, you should be able to do something every day and create the content and reset.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely should. And I also want to just, the flip side of that coin is it's totally okay if whoever is listening to this, if you're feeling like a lot of anxiety and craziness because the world is ending.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you. I'm there. Yeah.
Because, you know, I think there's when the quarantine first started, I feel like a lot of people were like, okay, this is the time to write that novel, write that screenplay, you know, whatever. And I totally that's awesome if you can. And I hope that you do. But also, I don't want anyone to feel so much pressure, because I think there's enough pressure just to survive right now that, like, for me, there's been a lot of time in the last 2 weeks.
This is all judgment free.
Yeah. I can do, you know, there's been days where I was like, I can do nothing but just kind of maintain consciousness.
No, I 100% agree with you. And in fact, my actual production in the last couple of weeks, I've done nothing. I mean, and I have such little things that get done in the day, yet I don't seem to get them done. You know what I mean? Like I have, if I just sat down and focused for an hour, but it's I agree. So I'm not saying, you know, pressure yourself to doing it, but if you want to do it and have the ability to do it, you should do it.
Absolutely.
But if you are worried about dying, it's not important to make a podcast that no one's watching. It's totally cool. No one cares. You know. And
what I will say is, and I know you already know this because you've done long projects too, but if for anyone who hasn't done like a big long project yet, tiny goals is how to do it, right? Don't go, okay, I'm going to write the first draft of my screenplay tonight. No, you know what? Create the document. Just create a blank document and then title the file like screenplay to be written, and then go, goal number 1 done. If you want to move on to goal number 2 that day, great, but just be satisfied. Like, get it.
I completely agree. This is why you're a champion and you've completed your book. So I'm old school. I start every year. I buy myself a leather bound. My father bought it for me this year, but a leather bound date book for the year.
Oh, nice.
And then I hardly use it. I just, I put maybe 2 or 3 things in a month, and it's just on the desk.
But it feels good to have it.
Yeah, you know, like you're like, oh, dentist or something, whatever, right? You know. But I wake up and I have a pad, and I write my to-do list every day of short goals, right?
Nice.
So and I'll put them out, but then every day I'll rewrite them. If I didn't get it done, and it was my fault, I will rewrite them. And there's sometimes where I was like 3 weeks every morning, I'm writing the same, like, you know, buy a new set of tires or something like that you have to just get done in life. But really, big projects are a bunch of little goals. And it sounds like you and I both started projects saying there has to be a little bit of blissful arrogance or ignorance going into a project. Because like you said, you and I both know that if we knew the stress, I mean, we both had beautiful locks of raven hair when we started this shit. And then stress, you know, I broke out. I mean, I was losing my mind during the movie. I mean, in addition, there were so many other elements in my life that were happening that were, you know, and it was just a disaster time. And then the place that I had caught fire, and in the middle of filming, and then, you know, in between scenes, I got to go down in costume to talk to the insurance adjuster, like in like, you know, and then, you know, people are, you know, you pay the cost to be the boss, but, you know, people were not showing up. People were lying about.
Well, and I remember I don't know if you remember this, but I was in 2 scenes. Gavone was written in 2 scenes in the movie, and the first day I showed up for filming, like, you know, it's running behind like every production does. Yes. It's in a convenience store. And I noticed I didn't make it in the movie, probably because your audio person forgot to mic me.
Yeah.
And,
so
unfortunately, I was still relatively new to the on-camera world at that time. And I thought, oh, maybe they're just going to get it with the boom or whatever. You know, I didn't know. And so I didn't know what to say. And I just remember you going, they didn't mic you. And I was like, no, were they supposed to? I'm sorry. You know? And I was like,
yeah, oh, God. That was,
so much stress.
I popped off a little bit. So I've actually never told this story. So this is great. With all respect, here's a situation that happened. Again, when your boss is kind of an asshole, like
Sure.
people who are leading don't have a lot of time for bullshit and feeling like eventually if it's a business where, there's no crying in baseball. Like it's just for efficiency's sake, everyone's running behind. You got to get things done. So I hired, this is my first movie. I always wanted to make a movie. Sure. Movies aren't even cool anymore. Everything's supposed to be for a minute. Whatever. I'm an old man. It was my goal as a kid to make a comedy, stupid movie that I had ideas for my whole life just to make for fun and then to go do a series, right? So I just wanted to complete a life goal because this town is difficult to get a lot of breaks, because there is such a luck aspect to hard work also,
Absolutely.
So, people grind it out for different lengths of time, but those people that you see constantly working still create content and they're still in the game. Anyway, sure. So I want to make a movie. I hire, not knowing what I'm doing, I hire a cinematographer named Keelan, who is incredible. And he had a team of his friends, right? Mm-hmm. Just like us, buddies. He's got his sound guy he uses. He got this guy, blah, blah, blah. Great. The day before we're supposed to film day one, he calls me and he says, my sound guy just got a gig on a Discovery show or whatever up in Atlanta.
Yeah.
He's leaving in a few days. He's like, he just booked the next 90 days. Pardon me to bring out the water bottle, if I may. Yeah, no,
I mean, and that's, and you have to respect it because you're like, okay, I'm paying you peanuts because it's an independent film. So
absolutely, I'm paying him the flat day rate. Everybody's getting the same day rate, in the crew. And the actors, the same thing, But the actors, we all do everybody's in our friend circles project for free. It's different.
Oh, yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You were very generous.
I will do free on-camera acting, for my friends.
Yeah, it's circles always.
Pretty much anytime, yeah.
So Keelan, who is Carruthers, he's awesome. I mean, he saved it. He's great. He's the man. He's incredible. But nice. His guy left, and so he's just like, I had to find the only person I could find with the cameras that were available on the next day was this person. He's like, dude, she's a little cuckoo. And I'm like, I don't even like, I don't know what's happening with the set, whatever, I'm working out every day is a struggle. So she's like, she's demanding cases of Dr. Pepper. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm trying to make a fucking movie here. I'm like, what? She's like, she won't come on set unless she gets her own private case of Dr. Pepper. Now I should have known, right, at that point to just have, but I can't postpone. Think about a movie is supposed to be filming. The actors are lined up. The locations are lined up. The deposits are paid. Pushing shit back isn't always possible. And I'm no corporation. You know what I mean? These are like guitar lesson money, favors, cash, the good people that chase credit card, various, thank you for your,
I can't even imagine
9% APR.
Not only did you write it, you're directing it, but you're also in it and producing it. Poor life choices.
But I wanted to do it that way because in terms of like a CEO or somebody who could work on a set, understanding all the different parts of it. Now I know how to edit. Sure. I'm not right. Sure. Obviously, everybody has these great skills, but if I could just know the basics of how all the things are run, it's obviously going to make me more efficient in the thing. Extremely long story, longer. So she comes on set and she doesn't seem to know how to use the gear. It's just kind of weird. It's just this weird thing. He hadn't met her until when she arrived on set. So he doesn't really know. He did his best to find a person with the appropriate gear who was available for the day rate, right?
Yeah.
So I basically figured out and found out that she was just borrowing the gear from somebody's. Every time there was a sound problem, it would take an hour, right? So like so much billable time was spent on her not being able to use the gear, to not, like, we couldn't get sound or waiting on sound. Sound should always be ready, right? Every sound person I know is just there with big calves and tattoos and ready to go, right?
Right. Yeah.
So she does. So this guy kept showing up, like fixing the gear and then leaving. And what I figured is that she's using she basically, I believe, with no, but that she just faked her way into the job. She didn't know what she was doing. She might have done a little bit before, but she borrowed somebody's gear because she didn't even have the gear, so she could make some money. So it wasn't even. Now, at one point, the entire crew threatened to quit if we kept her. So now also, so after the first week, right? And I pop off a little bit because she's like, it was just, I mean, we're filming to 4 o'clock in the morning. We're guerrilla style. We're in Santa Monica. Yeah. We're in a building. We're doing, and we're waiting in between takes for like 10 minutes for sound to get going. You got to reboot all the time, right? And then she starts. I'm with Copeland. 3 o'clock in the morning. She starts directing the actor. She starts saying, while we're recording, hey, have him say this. Hey, what if we did this? Hey, what if we did this? Now, and then so like every day it grew a little bit, and then by the 5th day of we're talking hours, we're talking I don't know, thousands of dollars just gone waiting for somebody to be able to just hit record.
Jesus.
She's giving acting notes to John Copeland.
Wow.
Right. So I pop off a little bit and I just said, can we just have sound do sound? Just get the sound. Just get the sound. Like you can't not get the sound and then worry about everybody else's problem. Just get the sound. Then.
Yeah.
So I pop off. So then the whole crew is like, we don't want to do it. We're not coming back. So now I've already filmed half a movie. The crew doesn't want to come back because she is
a nightmare.
She's a little bots. Something's a little cuckoo. So she was just faking it, and then I bring you in. So then they couldn't find anybody. So I begged. I said, please don't quit the movie. We'll find somebody else. She's like, well, we got this. Well, we need her for a couple of days, and then my other guy might be coming back from another gig. We could use him. I said, whatever, right? Just please don't quit.
Yeah.
So then we're filming. We have 2 scenes for you to film in a liquor store, in which I just paid cash to a fellow with hairy arms to just rent. He's just like, cash. He's like, cash. He's like, take it. So he's just sitting shout out to Big 7 Liquor, if I may. They're awesome. Check them out in LA and Venice. But we're filming, and so I'm trying to not have the crew quit. I have actors not showing up. I have actors showing up who haven't learned their lines, right?
Oh, God.
A sound person's not doing anything. So, and I'm trying to do it. I've never done any of this. It was just, poor life choices, right? Just the whole thing. Which is why it was such a megalithic project, which I would not have made a dick joke comedy if I knew it was going to be so. I would have spent all of that time, effort, and passion on like The Godfather 4, not on a wall sure. Or whatever. If you're stupid, rent it. It's on Amazon Prime. If you're between 18 and 24, male, and you make lower 50% income in the country, the demographics say you will enjoy it.
I mean, and it, like, to be fair, like, it's a legit, like, there are a lot of laugh out loud moments.
There's a couple, a lot of them, I'm unhappy. Honestly, if I'm happy with like 40%, but that's still good. I'm learning. I was just trying to figure it out. Right.
Bro, like, that's amazing. So, like, I shot a web series a few years ago, and it's been making its way through the festival circuit this year. And I mean, it was the same thing. Like, I directed it and I acted in it. And
it's a lot.
Yeah, right. Well, and then we learned the lesson of, so this wasn't necessarily my idea, but I went with it, and we learned. So we didn't write out scripts. We wrote out, scenarios Larry David style, because John was in a Second City class. That's how I met him. I was his teacher. And then, so we filmed this like a few terms later, and he wanted the people in his class to be in the web series. So we didn't even do casting We'll never do that again. You got to do cast. Not that the cast wasn't good. It's just that like you really need that casting process to go, okay, who's right for this role, that kind of thing. And then it was improvised largely. The thing was they were student improvisers. So they're not bad improvisers, but they don't have 20 years of experience to just boom, 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 boom.
It's like jazz, man. They're not playing jazz, man. They ain't playing jazz.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing good. They're doing good, but, it's like I will never shoot something improv again unless I have, like, the greatest improvisers in the world. It's their scripts. And the reason isn't because of the performance. I thought the performances that we got were pretty well. It's that editing took a million years. Because we didn't have a literal script to go off of. So we would just kind of put pieces together and go, that doesn't work. Let's take them out, put them back in this way. It doesn't work. Try again. And while I'm acting, while I'm directing, and just like the money is here. And then we also learned a valuable lesson. When you have a location and you're using an office building, not during the regular hours, you should ask if the air conditioning shuts off. We filmed that web series on a weekend, June 30th and July 1st in Van Nuys, like the hottest armpit of Los Angeles, and the air conditioning shut off at 4 o'clock. Yeah, the air conditioning shut off at 4 o'clock. So we were scheduled to film from, I want to say 8 a.m. until like midnight. Both days. And then the latter half of those days, I literally thought I was going to pass out both nights.
Just no circulation. It's just hot, stuck LA.
It's just lights, big old lights.
1988 Volvo diesel gas fumes filling up.
Yeah. And, so you and I both, your project's much bigger because my web series is 10 episodes, but in total it's only 26 minutes. But it's like still...
work is work, my man. Comparisons are odorless.
Fair. But like we both did these big projects and we both learned like, and I love the web series, but if I could go back and just like with your movie, if I could go back and do it again, I'd make different choices and I'd fix this and do that.
I think that's the process of learning. And there's the rub, right? As you continue to do it, you get better. And then you look back at your previous work and you're like, but you have to let it go. And I think that is very difficult to just say, we're done here. Like it's not getting any better. Time, like it's as good as it's going to be. If there's a mistake here, I mean, I was watching, I was watching the first season of The Sopranos, and I see his mic and every other shot. I see mistakes, continuity. I mean, I see so many mistakes in the pilot episode alone.
Sure.
And it's like, and the other thing is we're in it. We're kind of in the Oz. So I think we notice, we know how the sausage is.
Of course. Of course.
But so on that, if I could go back to, I will wrap up with the sound person is when you came in on the liquor store, you had 2 scenes. And at that point, things were kind of rolling. She was doing her thing. We are filmed. So we all have the meeting. We go, I do this like a fake apology to her, which they knew because she wanted an apology and they were just like, we want to fire her. So just do it. So like I did this empty gesture just to make her happy. Sure. And then the next time we filmed, it's the next day is with you.
Uh-huh.
We do a whole scene. We do, you came in, you learned your lines, you booked your time, your money, your gas to get there, plus everyone who was in there, right? You got all the other actor who learned their lines. I mean, time is money. We do the whole first scene, and then I talk to you, and then you tell me you're not mic'd. I go over, and she's playing a video game on her phone with cats, where where the cats are like, she's like the cats are chasing other cats. Yeah, it's funny to you. Yeah, it's funny to you.
It's funny now.
No, it's definitely funny. But now we all know that I can be Tempur-Pedic, right? But I couldn't believe she was playing a video game. But how did she miss How did she miss the fact that we were filming and there were camera setups? I think she was on drugs, and I don't mean like the cool drugs. I mean, I think she was like maybe whatever. You know what? I don't want to say. I'm not trying to talk trash. All I know is during an entire scene, there was no sound. Now think about the money. I had to pay for that location. I had to pay for her to not get the sound.
Right.
I had to pay
everyone else,
the cinematographer. Basically. So
I was in a costume. I assume you rented.
I bought that at Goodwill, and I bought the patch, and I sewed the patch on. Yeah. I also found all the costumes because I knew I was doing it. So I took a year and got it. So in summation, so I was definitely let me tell you why. You think your editing was hard? I have 4 terabytes worth of data, right? She would pause the sound regardless if the cinematographer told her to cut. Which means, Rich Baker, in order for me just to watch the footage back, I had to take, regardless of quality, every single take, I had to then line up and play. And then because she paused it, it didn't match up to the thing. So I had to split. So I spent 6 weeks just sitting at my people like, why are you texting me back? I was like, I'm about to go falling down. Right. And then you're only using snippets. So every take I'd have to snap and she'd pause it. So it took me that. Then I had to hire another sound guy, and then I had to pay a sound guy. So not only did she get all of her money, she got paid. I spent thousands of dollars just correcting. At one point, I had actors come to my living room to record voiceover. And here was the other thing. She said, we got it. We weren't getting it. She was just lying because she knew she couldn't get it. So she
didn't know.
So she was just like, she's just like, well, we'll find out later. So she took that money. She took the money, and she cost me probably 6 to 8 weeks of my life in terms of audio post-production, right? But think about that. Wow. Think about how many scenes, how many setups there are. And I got to then go through and listen to everyone and resplice it and then line it up. And we're not synced. I have to line it up to the mouth. So everything in that movie is lined up to people's tongues and teeth. Like, I got to find a T. Mother, you want to talk about going crazy.
My God.
So I got to tell you, if you don't want to make a movie because the world's ending, it's all good. It's all good.
Sure.
It's a lot of stress.
It's a lot.
I've never told that story, but can you believe that? You were there.
Yeah, and I remember, because I don't remember the specifics of the scene, but I do remember that it was kind of important to the plot, and it was
yeah,
it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny, and and then in the next scene I was in where I pull over the truck and I check the back, which is in the movie. I say, "Hey, it's me, how's it going? Don't you remember?" And I'm like, "But I'm not in the movie." So it's like,
well, I missed that. Say it one more time. I'm sorry, I missed that.
So in the scene that I'm in the movie, one of the things I say is I tell your character, I'm like, "Hey, it's me, Officer Gavone. Don't you remember?" But there's no scene for the audience,
right? In the
remember, so they just have to assume that we know each other from a time before the movie.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh man,
right. So now with that, you could imagine how it hurts creatively to have to change your things because of other people. Now the other thing was I think it worked because throughout the movie I was obviously getting arrested, like that I was friendly with the cops and that.
Sure. It makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So I think
it wouldn't stand out to anyone other than me just because I knew that was a line based on a scene that didn't
that was cut. That was. I mean, all of the hallway scenes were redone in my apartment. All the car scenes, all the actors were there, and not at the same time, right? So really, months and thousands of dollars of work because somebody just was faking it just to fake it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's where being the boss or being the leader is where you get taxed. You know, it's your
Yeah.
You know? And I feel bad for all the business owners, but that was a great. What else was? You were there in the car. Yeah, I didn't have you. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we had to cut your whole scene. Yeah. So that means that was an entire day of your life for nothing because of the sound person.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's, you know, that's where you have to really just learn that Zen lesson of, okay, this moment is for this moment. It's not for anything else. And so it's like, just like you were saying, if no one watches this, which I'm sure some people are going to watch this, but, you know, it's like, I'm enjoying this right now. And it's bonus if other people watch it and go, oh, right. I saw your thing, or whatever. You know, so I still had fun on set with you. And I just felt bad because I was, you know, I'd been acting forever on stage, but on camera, I think your project was maybe my third time on set. I just moved here. And so I just didn't know that you're always, like, anytime you talk on camera, you always have to be mic'd. Any actors listening to this, if they don't mic you,
teachable moment.
Go ahead and ask someone, hey, should I be mic'd right now?
Yeah.
Because if the answer is no harm, no foul, whatever. But the answer is probably yes.
Especially when the camera's pointing at one person and they're speaking for like an hour, that perhaps they should have a mic on.
Well, I think it's, you know, if you don't know a lot about the on-camera world, you see a boom mic over you and you think, oh, they're getting me. But it's like, no, you really need that lavalier mic plus the boom mic or else.
Yeah. And we're also working with, you know, I'm sure in kind of antiquated gear. You know, we weren't renting the newest, you know, digital technology, which is when you see the digital, right, everything's all there. I mean, I did everything except for cut the film. You know what I mean? Like, I mean it with like a razor blade.
Yeah.
And I can learn to edit. But man, you were great, and I definitely want to. I've watched everything that I've been in, and most of it is, you know, it's crap. It's student films. It's, you know, whatever. Well, this is my student.
But I actually watched Wall of Flesh from beginning to end, and I was like, that's pretty good. You know, I mean, for a low budget, first time independent movie, like, you know, it's pretty good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And I will take that compliment and remember that when I write the next one. It's going to be dark. It's cool. I'm actually, nice. I've started to work on it, and it's
oh, hell yeah.
I'm ready.
Is it Godfather 4?
It's actually what the stash is for.
Nice.
And, supposed to leave the stash, and then I have basically like a whole character set up, and then
excellent.
But I'm playing the bad guy this time, so I'm not playing the main guy. It's not for me. I just want to play. Because I can't do everything. I just let me come in. Let me have my 4 hours. I'll do my bad guy lines and leave. Right?
Are you directing it too?
Dude, I would know on this one, on the Wall of Flesh. I wanted to do as many things as possible because I couldn't afford to hire people, and I wanted to learn in terms of instead of going to film school. That's how I learned. Any successful business, I'd like to get some bread and then, you know, delegate and pay everyone and do, you know, a proper one. And I don't want to do everything. I would be, you know, if a studio wants to pick it up, obviously you can direct. I'd like to, you know, be involved, but I think at this point I'm comfortable enough now where I could definitely write things and just give away. So, I mean, you know, some things are like your personal projects. And I definitely want this next one to be awesome. But I mean, if HBO wants to buy it and they want to use their directors, I'm going to be okay.
If anyone from HBO is watching right now,
Brian, hashtag script. But you know what? It's not TV.
It's HBO. Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been another successful episode of Unnecessary Talk. Rich Baker, thank you. At Rich Baker, actor. Hold your book up one last time. See if we get it.
Yep.
I'm going to buy the Kindle, and then I'm sure you'll see that someone bought it. Like, I'll show you my receipts. Right. I won't Hollywood lie to you. And then I do want to get my signed copy.
I can't wait to read it. And go to strongerentertainment.com if you want to see sketches, the trailer for my web series, which will be coming out theoretically in like a month online. So that'll be
well. Poor Life Choices Productions will share, and you will get between 3 and 11 likes because it's a business page. Oh, hold on.
Yes, there it is. There it is.
Rich Baker, thank you, man.
Have a great one.